Hello, fellow collectors. Today we'll be reviewing Transformers Legacy Evolution Insecticon Bombshell. As you can see here, Bombshell is a smaller deluxe class figure. He does have his normal box packaging. We'll go ahead and take him off and take a look at the back of the box. We can see him in robot and insect mode. Turn to the side, we see the artwork for the Legacy Evolution. In the front, you can see Bombshell. Hello! And on the side, you can see him in his robot mode. Okay, now let's get him out of the package. Okay, now that we have him out of the box, let's go ahead and transform into bug mode. We remove his gun. We turn over the arms and flip his wrist inside his sockets. We'll then take his head cannon and push it together. You'll see a little slot here that has a peg on the cannon, so let's go ahead and push it there. Covers up his face nicely, and we'll go ahead and rotate and twist the waist. We will then take the arms, and you'll see there's an open slot here, and there is a peg on the hand that it will go into, and there it is. So we'll go ahead and rotate the arm and insert that peg into the open slot. And sometimes you just have to use a little bit of force to get that in there to fit correctly. And you'll see here his leg does go up and down, which is a nice touch. We'll go ahead and do the same thing for the other arm. Go ahead and push it into place. Then we'll start working on the legs. We'll go ahead and open up both of these panels. And these legs do fold in on themselves, so they do have open rockers. So we'll go ahead and push the feet into position, and then we'll take them and push the legs up as they fold in on themselves. Do the same thing for the other leg. Rock it, and then place it into position. We'll go ahead and push the legs together. And you'll notice there's some open slots here on the body for the legs, and the legs do have two pegs that go into those holes. So we'll push that into place, make sure everything's together, fix the arm so it's the right way, and there we go. And now we're done with his insect mode, and we can go ahead and attach his gun to his body. And now that we're in his bug mode, we'll go ahead and get him ready for some comparisons here. We'll go ahead and once again take off his gun and unpeg the legs from the sides and rotate them around. Once again, they have the double rockers, so you'll pull out and then rotate the legs back into position. Flip it on the other side. You can go ahead and take the arms and move them out of the way. And then you want to close the panels that form his bottom legs. And you'll want to move up his feet. Then you can rotate the waist all the way around. And we'll come to the front. We'll take his arms and take the hands out, if you can get them. There we go. Same thing for the other side. And finally, we'll go ahead and take care of his legs, pull them apart, and his head. We'll pull out and set his... Okay, then we'll take his gun and place it into his hand. And we'll go ahead and set him down. But let's take a closer look at the figure first. Alright, you can see his head sculpt is very nice, very cartoonish. He does have this panel that looks like it opened, but it does not open. You can try as hard as you want to, but it's just not going to happen. Alright, so while I try to prove myself wrong, I'll then start looking at the rest of the figure, his waist here. And you will see that he does have the gun that is indicative, and he does have a little hollowing in his arms. And he is definitely molded more from the original than the Titan's Return. His head can move slightly left and right. His arms can do a full 360 movement, come out this far. His elbows do have a joint and rotate at the elbows. The weapons can be removed from his lower arms, and they can later be attached to this gun. I'll show that in a second. Go ahead and remove the other one. And while we got his legs, he does have a nice bend in the legs. You can go straight, pull them all the way out. He can do a Von Damme split. You can see he does have an upper leg swivel. His feet can come down, no rotation. Okay, and now let's go ahead and attach these portions to his legs. You'll see here on each side they have an open slot, and these weapons just peg in. It is a nice touch, definitely something different than the original figure, but I'm more of an old-fashioned guy, so I'll probably keep them on his arms and not on his gun. Alright, now that I've got those in place, let's go ahead and show off his capabilities. He can shoot both guns, and we'll move him back. Set him into place. And let's go ahead and bring in our first comparison. For our first comparison, we do have a measuring tape, and he does come up at about 6 inches tall on the top of his arm cannon. We'll bring in his Insecticon mate kit back, also from the Legacy Evolution line, and Scrapnel, or if you prefer to work for the G1, Shrapnel. Okay, let's go ahead and remove these guys and bring in some G1 goodness. The original Insecticon Bombshell. And you can see there is some height differences and some color variations, but the original figure does have the cannons on his arms just like the old one. And you can see here the old one does open up for his Diaclone driver. And as we go ahead and take the G1 figure out, we can do some final thoughts on this guy. And first, before we get to the final modes, we'll go ahead and show he's off at 2.8 ounces. And now we'll take a look at his comparison to his other Insecticon brethren. We can see here we Kickback and Shrapnel, and as you can see, I don't like the fact that Kickback's gun is in the front, so we'll go ahead and toss it to the side. And as for final thoughts on this guy, it's a great figure. It's the Insecticon Bombshell that we've been waiting for. Not as cartoon accurate as most fans would like, but for the price point, definitely worth the buy. If you get a chance, add this guy to your collection. And as always, guys, be sure to keep collecting.